Okay, this session is about the Staff Enrichment Workbook. So we're going to go into detail about how this works and what the role of the Level 2 trainer is in this program. So the Level 2 trainer advises SCE of school staff numbers. So we need to know how many staff you have in your school so that we can send you the right number of books. Each one of your staff members should get one of these books. The Level 2 trainer presents the information in the book. Now, it's very simple. There are 10 topics in this book. Each topic is quite short, particularly in Series 1. As we go on through this series, the topics get a little longer and a little more involved. But in this Series 1, they're very simple and they're about what is ACE. So they're basically, Series 1 is, what is ACE? How do we do it? What is it? Okay, so this is very basic information. Each page then has personal reflection on it, each topic, where there are some questions and there's a space for you to write about what you've thought or what you've learned or how you could implement this in your classroom, in your learning centre. So this is very interactive. It's meant to encourage interaction while you're doing this. This shouldn't be done as an individual. This should be done as a group in your school. So at a staff meeting once a week, you should all get together and have a chat. Now, I'm the CEO of Redwood College, which is our ACE school here. We do this every Tuesday morning before school. We sit together, we go through the topics, somebody reads all the text out, and then we talk about it. Have a good discussion about it and how it's going to influence what we do in our school, and whether we're already doing it or whether it's something that we need to implement, whether we're doing it well or whether there are places we could improve on. So there's all of these aspects that you can talk about. And then there's the space for people to write their own individual thoughts about it, about what they think they can actually do with this information and how it can help them personally in their life in the school. The Level 2 trainer should be encouraging that interaction. So the Level 2 trainer needs to be the person who gets the discussion going, who keeps the discussion going. It doesn't need to go for a long period of time. We take about 15 minutes normally to do the SO program at Redwood College. Some days, if the topic is really interesting, we might take a little longer, or we might find that we discuss it in the staff area at lunchtime. So the Level 2 trainer has responsibility to check that the written work is completed. Now, this doesn't mean that every week you have to look at the book and go, did you write something? It means that when they've finished the book, you need to just check through and say, okay, this week we're doing our pull-out section because everything is complete. The idea is that we're encouraging people to write. A lot of our regions are not from written traditions, so people find it difficult to write. And one of the things that we're doing using this is to upskill you in the area of writing. The more writing you do, the better you actually become at it. So don't feel that you have to write pages and pages of things. Just write a short reflection and it will develop over a period of time. So the Level 2 trainer checks that written work is completed. Now, at the end of the term, just like in the PACES, the centre part is what you do at the end of the workbook. So in the PACES, the centre page is the test, and it gets pulled out, filled in, and then off it goes to be marked and to be kept as a record of the student's work. That's exactly what happens with this. This gets pulled out, you just pull it out like you do the PACE test. You'll see that there are 4 pages here, and each page has things that need to be filled in on it. You fill that in and you hand it to the level 2 trainer. So level 2 trainers, you collect these up. You need to make sure that they're all filled in and that the person has written something in every part. You collect them up, then you send them to your regional admin officer. If you don't have a regional admin officer, you send them straight here to us at SCI. Now, what we do with them is we record that you have actually participated in the SO program, and that goes towards the Christian Educators Certificate. Okay, who will do the SO program? One of the questions that I often get asked is, who should do this? Should it just be the supervisors? Do the monitors need to do this? What about the office staff, the school secretary? Does the principal need to do it? My answer is everybody working in the school should do it. Okay, does that mean the cleaner should do it? Well, that's something you can decide on. But what about the school secretary? Who is the very first person that people speak to when they come into your school? They go to the office and they see the secretary. Is that true? Yeah. So who needs to know about the ACE program? The secretary. The secretary needs to have an understanding of what it is that you're doing. The secretary doesn't need to know all the Learning Centre procedures, but they need to have a good overview and understanding of what happens in the school, so that when a parent comes in or somebody comes in asking questions, they can answer them. They can direct them. They can just, instead of going, I don't know, I'm just the secretary. Yes, this is an ACE school. We have individualised learning and we use a mastery-based curriculum. Would you like to talk to somebody more about it? Okay, so straight away you give the impression that your school is well run, everybody understands what's going on. It's a great first impression. So yes, anybody who is anything to do with actually running the school should be doing this. Monitors should be doing it, supervisors should be doing it, principals and administrators should be doing it. And if you can get your pastor to come in and do it too, get your pastor to come, because they're the ones that are going to feed the children into your school. So all staff should be doing it. Every school should be doing the SO program. And you might say, well, we've already done our staff training. Well, that's great. That really excites me. If everybody in your school has done staff training, that is excellent. But in the scriptures, Paul says, I tell you again and again. Why does Paul say that? Because we forget. We forget. We do this bit, but I forgot that bit. Or over a period of time, we get slack in what we're doing and we're not as tight on the procedures. We don't think about what's happening. This helps you on a weekly basis to focus on what your school is about. That has to be good for everybody in the school. So it should be happening in every school. Our preference would be that it happens at the same time in every school. Now, because all our schools are on different time zones, that's going to be very difficult to do. But a lot of our schools do this program on a Tuesday. Some do it in the morning, some do it in the afternoon, but a lot of schools actually do it on a Tuesday. It's nice. When we do our session on a Tuesday morning at Redwood College, we pray for the other schools that are doing the SO program. So it's nice to think that there are others out there that are doing exactly what we're doing at that time. So it's just a nice thing. And we want to encourage networking and fellowshipping between schools. When you come together for Educators Conference, when you're talking to each other, you see somebody in the street or at the market that's from another AC school, you can say to them, how's your SO program going? We just did this. We found this was really, really good. Oh, that one, we didn't really see how we could work that in our school. Are you doing that in your school? it encourages you to talk to other schools, to have something to say to them and to be learning from each other. So it's a good tool for networking. When should you do it? Well, when? It takes about 10 minutes. I think it actually takes about 15 minutes because I talk a lot. So around about 10 to 15 minutes each week. Maybe you could do it at staff devotions if you're having staff devotions or a regular staff meeting. They're ideal times because your staff is already together. So it's just adding something on as a part of that. And it should be on a weekly basis. So there are 10 topics in each of these books. So that's one for each week of a term. So you should be completing one of these books every term. Okay, so why do we do the SOW program? Well, one of the things that we want to see happening in our schools is we want to see continual training of the staff happening. Now, why are we interested in doing that? Well, particularly for those countries who have perhaps less educational standing in their staff, it's one way of us going to the government and saying, we don't need to have qualified teachers in our school. We have teachers who are specifically trained in our curriculum. So to do that, we have to be able to prove that we are actually doing training on a regular basis within those schools. And that is one of the reasons that we're using the SOW program. So you need to make sure that it's happening in your school each week. SCI provides the SOW book for each staff member. There is no charge for these books. There is no charge for the term pack. They go out to you, and the SCI board has decided that they want to invest back into the regions by upskilling the staff in all of our regions. And this is a huge investment for SCI. It's costing us a lot of money to do this. So don't let these books come out to you and then sit on your desk or in your office somewhere. Make sure they're getting to your staff and being used for the purpose. Remember this morning in devotions we talked about being excellent. This is one of the pathways to becoming excellent in your school. And it's something that I really want to encourage you to do. So we have 10 weeks of topics, one topic per week. Now we're going to get into a little bit more of the how this all works. Okay, so this is probably fairly small. This is actually in your level 2 role and responsibility handbook. So this diagram is in here. It's also in the notebook that will come with this video package. So the level 2 trainer receives the SCI Connect package from SCI. So once a term, you're going to have a package arrive from SCI. It's like your once a term Christmas present. Okay? The level 2 trainer unpacks the box, sees what's in there, goes, oh great, new SOW booklets. They make sure that there's enough for all their staff and they hand them out to the staff at their next meeting. The level 2 trainer conducts a short session each week following the using the SOW workbook at the weekly staff meeting. So the level 2 trainer is the one that actually implements or conducts the SOW training. Now look, you don't have to do that. What we do at Redwood is actually each of the staff take a turn in presenting the material because we want everybody to be involved in what is happening. But you need to work it out in your own school context so that it works for you. The level 2 trainer makes sure that all staff complete the SOW book. When the SOW booklet is complete, the level 2 trainer instructs the staff to complete the pull-out section in the centre of the SOW book. Remember, this is not a test. Okay. The level 2 trainer collects all completed pull-out sections and posts them to either SCI or to their regional admin officer. SCI records the data as part of the Christian Educators Certificate requirements. So this gives you a credit towards the Christian Educators Certificate. And we're going to go into more detail about that later. Okay, so why are we doing it? 1, we want to improve the standards in our schools. Now, some schools might go, well, we're already there. We have a great standard in our school. That's wonderful. I'm really happy for you. But we can't say that for every single school in all of our regions. We want every single school in all of our regions to improve their standard. And I think it would be very unusual to find a school that didn't need any improvement anywhere. So it should really relate to every single one of us, particularly if we're looking for that spirit of excellence. It's a part of staff development. Now we have a responsibility, principals and administrators, you have a responsibility to your staff to train them up, to help them to be able to do the job that you want them to do with a spirit of excellence. And part of that responsibility is to provide staff development, to teach your staff more and more, to upskill them so that they understand more. So part of that is to use the SO program for that. We want to have better academic standing in our schools. We want our staff to be upskilled so that they not only have confidence in themselves, but also so that they're actually doing the best that they can for the students in our schools. Remember, this is all about the students. I'm talking specifically to staff at this point in time, but the end product of what we do, the reason that we do all the things that we do, is the children in our schools. And they are, what we have to remember, is the focus. So we want to have better academic standing so that we can raise up our children to have better academic standing. It improves staff morale. I was talking to one of the regions, a school in one of the regions recently, and they were saying, we love doing the SO workbooks because what it does is it brings all the staff together, and we find we have such a strong common bond because it's something we're doing together. If you want to build a strong team in your school, this is the sort of thing that you need to do. You need to do these things, do them together as a team. Make everybody feel a valued part of that team, and you'll find that you have great staff morale. We also need to have accountability for our schools. It's not good enough just to say, well, we've brought somebody in to be the supervisor. What does that person know? Does that person understand enough to be able to be a supervisor? And if not, how are you going to train them up so that they can? We need to equip people for the job that we're giving them. In the Bible, it tells us that some were meant to be teachers, and some were meant to be pastors, and some were meant to be this and that and the other. But you know, God equips us for what He wants us to do. So we need to take that model that God has already put there in the Bible and duplicate that here. And that's what we're doing. So we want you to be accountable for what you're doing with the staff in your school, principals, administrators, pastors. You need to be accountable for the people that you're bringing into this ministry, this school ministry that you have. And you need to be accountable to train them up and to equip them the same way that God equips us. It is also a requirement of the Christian Educator Certificate, and as you do these, you will be collecting credits towards your certificate. Again, this program is for schools that are currently registered with SCI and using the ACE resources purchased through SCI. So please don't give it away, don't give it to the school next door. It's something that we use, it's part of the SCI family resources, and we need to keep those things in the family. If other schools or other people want to be a part of it, they need to come and register and join and be a part of the SCI family too. Series 2 is more about teaching pedagogy, about why we do the things we do, not necessarily what we're doing. So Series 1 is about the what, Series 2 is about the why. Series 3, I'm not going to tell you, you're going to have to do it to find out. You don't need to start at Series 1. If you have a staff member come in halfway through the year and you're halfway through Series 2, they start where you're at. Okay, because we want them to feel part of the team as well, not say to them, you can't join in until you know everything. Okay, so we want to draw them in as part of the team straight away. So they start off where they're at. If there are things that they don't understand, that's a great opportunity for the other staff to share what they've learned and to explain to that new staff member. So, and these will be done in a cycle, so they will eventually go back to the beginning and do series 1. Okay, so it is going to be a cyclical program. So you're going to get to do some of them again. And it'd be really interesting, I think for me it'll be interesting to compare what I wrote for my answers the first time as to where I am the second time. How have I changed? What have I learned? What have I done in my classroom, my learning centre, that is different to when I was back here when I first did that first series? So that's part of the reason we're doing it, because we want to see how people grow and how the system grows and changes and improves within the school. Any other questions? No? Excellent. That's the end of this session. The next session, I believe, will be on the SET program, so we'll do that next.